Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with a Tristana supplementary guide, and same as the one I did on Caitlyn, this is a supplementary guide because this is an alternative build for Tristana, but the updated complete guide I did for patch 3.1 plus still applies here, so the Conqueror build on Tristana still is great. Now, basically on Tristana in particular, I feel that both the Conqueror build as well as the Lethal Tempo build are both really good in their own ways. Because now, if you notice Tristana, what she likes to do, she likes to jump in, place her bomb on someone, press her Q, full stack the bomb, kill the person, and then jump back out. So normally when you attack the person to get the bomb on, your Conqueror will manage to fully stack when the bomb explodes, then you jump out and that's all good. But with the Lethal Tempo, what normally happens is, when you go in, put the bomb on, fully stack the bomb, and kill the person and jump out, you would just only either are one hit away from fully stacking Lethal Tempo, or you would have just fully stacked the Lethal Tempo and you're already jumping out. So if you're like doing something like that in lane, the Lethal Tempo is relatively not as useful as the Conqueror because you basically lose the value of the full stack Lethal Tempo. However, in later on in the game, in mid to late game team fights, where you full stack a bomb on someone and explode it, or you cannot even jump in because it's too threatening, you will be able to fully stack Lethal Tempo. And if you start getting resets and you jump from one person to the next, which we will see a little bit later on in the video, the Lethal Tempo build is actually really great because what you can do is you would have the extra attack speed from the Lethal Tempo, and when you jump from person to person, you attack really fast and you attack really hard because of the build that I'll show you guys later. So what that allows you to do basically is to get more DPS with the Lethal Tempo build. So the moral of the story here is both builds are very viable. Now, in case you guys are wondering why I don't even have Tristana purchased, this is because I'm on my Smurf account and I'm a little bit lazy to change back to my main account, but the gameplay will of course be from my main account in Diamond 3, so there's that. So either way, here we have the build, the runes, and the spells for Tristana. But as usual, forgot to mention this, but as usual, for the skills and leveling order, refer to the original Tristana complete guide that I posted, and I'll link that up in the cards above, so you can check it out from there. So without further ado, let's actually jump straight into the build, runes, and spells for Tristana. So the build, as usual, no surprise, we go for the Stormraiser and IE combo, pretty much the best first two item combo for any ADC who can take it viably. You get the attack speed, attack damage, and the crit, as well as the energized attack on the Stormraiser. You get more AD, more crit, and more crit damage with the IE, the best two item combo, which gives ADCs a lot of damage. Then you normally go for your boot enchant at this point, and generally you complete it all the way to the Zanya. So you go for the you actually don't go for the Gluttonous Greaves in this build. I actually prefer to go for something like a Plated Steel Caps or a Merchant, something more defensive, because as you guys can see, you do get the Bloodthirster later on, so you don't exactly need the lifesteal. So you go for one of the defensive boots and you go for Zanya's like in 99% of games. Some games QSS can be very helpful, but Proto Belt not really necessary for Tristana because she does have a dash on her W. So I generally go for Stasis because generally sometimes when you jump in, you find yourselves in unfavorable positions, and you do need to smack that Stasis to sort of keep yourself alive and let your team back you up and maybe even get a reset on your W to jump out. Happens relatively often. And yeah, so next up, same as the actually I forgot to change this to Lethal Tempo, but same as the Caitlyn build, you go for Bloodthirster instead of going for a Rapid Fire Cannon or a Static Shave. Now this is because the attack speed you lose from that is made up for by the Lethal Tempo, so this allows you to get more attack damage and more crit rate. So on Tristana, the Lethal Tempo plus the attack speed on her Q more than makes up for the lack of an attack speed item here. So instead, you can hit harder per auto attack and you can hit faster with the Lethal Tempo and with the Q. So those are your three crit damage items. Then you generally go for a Maul Reminder, just of course for the Armor Pen, as well as mostly for the Grievous Wounds. Sorela's Grudge, she can't make too good use of it, so it doesn't quite work here. And as usual, you guys know me, I like to go for GA for the Revive because you can't really rely on your support or your team in solo queue to keep you safe. And of course, when you have the GA down, this is where you can opt into one of the attack speed items. So this can be a rapid fire cannon, this can be a static shift, depending on the match. And you can even go for something like a Maw Mortius for the magic damage counter if you so need it. And if you really want to, you can also go for a Star Recharge Blade, but in my opinion, Static Shift is better because it synergizes more with your energized items. So there's that. So for the runes and the spells now, of course, we take Lethal Tempo for the ramping attack speed. Every attack gives you attack speed, and when you're at 6 stacks, you gain an extra 30% attack speed. As I mentioned, really useful for those longer team fights where you get resets. Then you go for Hunter Vampirism, which of course gives you the lifesteal. And now I'm actually kind of into Nullifying Orb, especially on champions who like to trade in the early laning phase, like Tristana, where she jumps in and gets kills by jumping in at level 2 or level 3 a lot of times. So Nullifying Orb I found actually saved me quite a bunch of times. So I think Nullifying Orb is actually worth it for that early game snowball. And finally we go for Hunter Genius for the cooldown reduction, because Tristana is actually very reliant on her E and her Q, so getting that cooldown reduction is very helpful. Now of course for the second one, the Resolve rune, you can also of course opt into Bone Plating or Hunter Titan if you do need it for that particular match. So here we take Flash, obviously no need to explain that, and we take Exhaust. Honestly, not too much need to explain that as well, because that's just the most meta ADC spell at the moment. Hard counters other ADCs, Assassins, Bruisers, etc. And if you don't like that, you can of course go for a Barrier as well. So with all that out of the way, we can jump straight on into the gameplay. Alright, so moving on to the gameplay. You guys know the drill as usual. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed the video. Any questions, remarks, or queries, leave them in the comments below and I will be responding to them, or giving it a heart at least, something like that. So anyways, here we have a Tristana video. I've been playing a lot of Tristana recently. I find Tristana is a very fun champion to play because, especially now that she has the Stormrazor IE combo, she doesn't feel so bad to play anymore. And she's just really fun, especially when you get the resets. Like, you don't normally I haven't actually gotten resets and gotten a pentakill before, but I have gotten resets and gotten a lot of triple kills, a couple of quadra kills, but yeah, haven't really got a penta yet. There have been some games where Tristana, I carried insanely hard on Tristana, but most of those games were losses because, like, I have, like, for example, a 1 and 9 top lane, a 2 and 8 jungle, and like another like a 0 and 10 like mid lane. Not even exaggerating, but they really do have these kind of KDAs, and it's just like me like 20 and 8 on Tristana. And yeah, so you can only carry a team so hard, I guess. But yeah, Tristana has been a blast to play, because especially if you get fed in the early game, which is actually surprisingly common on Tristana, because most people underestimate Tristana. It's really common to get fed in the early game. You can start snowballing and you just start destroying, because Tristana has a very strong laning phase because of her all-in potential. Very strong late game, but she has that mid-game power trough, much like Caitlyn. But if you get fed enough in the early game, you don't have a mid-game power trough anymore, just because of how outright fed you are. So in this lane, we're against a Soraka and a Xayah. So here, as you can see, we are level 3. We go all in onto the Soraka, and we barely miss out on getting the kill. Of course, she did have to pop all her summoners and also go for that fruit. Now here we find ourselves in a little bit of a pickle, so I flash forward to get the kill on the Soraka, try to escape, but Lee Sin and Ari both turns up. No way we're getting out of that one. Overall, we traded 2 for 1, not the best trade in the world, but hey, we burned all of our summoner spells on our side, and on their side, they pretty much only have Xayah's barrier left. So this laning matchup, in my opinion, by the way, we got the Twisted Fate jungle, which I am not too sure about, but yeah. So by the way, this laning matchup is pretty good for us, because as an all-in kind of kill lane with Tristana, it's a lot. It's really good against a sustaining like Soraka, because Soraka cannot sustain so much in a short amount of time, so you can burst her down. But the kind of flip side of that is that we're against a Xayah, and you never really want to jump in on a Xayah because she has those feathers, so it's a very irritating matchup for Tristana playing into a Xayah, but it's a very good matchup playing into a Soraka. So, kind of like a little bit of good and a little bit of bad in this particular lane matchup. So basically, if we manage to go in when Xayah doesn't have her E up, basically we should be winning that all the time, especially when something like this. Soraka doesn't have her silence ready, and Xayah didn't have her feathers ready to pull back. So we are able to get a quick pick onto the Soraka itself, but Lee Sin yet again turns up to the party and ruins my day. So as you guys can see there, a really good example of how you can jump in on the Soraka when her silence is down. Xayah was firstly apart from the Soraka, secondly didn't have feathers on the ground, so I recognized the opportunity to hop right on in, put my bomb on top of her head and blast her into Nick's weak, of course combined with that ultimate as well, which is really good for the final burst and popping the bomb at the same time. So here, Orianna really late on the rotation up, at least compared to the Ahri, but anyway, we're here just trying to defend our tower basically. They don't end up getting too much damage on it, not even a plate, so we're all good. Orianna is backing and we're basically back to the 2v2. I assume that Ahri has gone and backed as well, or rotated back to mid. It looks like she backed because we do have both bushes warded, so we will be able to actually see if the Ahri is around, which doesn't appear to be. She does show back in the mid lane. So here, we're back to the 2v2. And yet again here, Karma goes in. She does hit the root onto both of them, and I do get the reset. Mini hop just for a little bit of extra damage. You know, I don't want to jump straight on into the tower, so sometimes mini hop for extra damage. Never hurt anyone. And because of that, we can't actually get a plate from the tower. So here, the reason why we're not being too aggressive here is because Ahri is missing again, so we don't actually know where Ahri is. And she could be rotating, and now we see Ahri, so now we know that we're safe, but we're just going to decide to reset because the enemy bot lane has actually respawned, so they will be reaching the lane in a few moments, so we don't want to, you know, overstay and end up, you know, just dying to them. On the flip side, we have managed to get the Storm Razor, the boots, and another long sword, so we're doing pretty well, 3, 2, and 1. Of course, the 2 deaths coming from the ganks of the Lee Sin. At the moment, having the most gold in the game, but only barely above the Ahri and the Lee Sin. So here, they have tried to push in the wave in on us, and we're just simply going to try to pick up the wave. There's huge skirmish happening around the mid lane area, but obviously nothing too much we can do to go in on that one because we're way too far away. Here Soraka and Xayah are completely split up. Here I try to go in on Soraka. I flash forward and exhaust her as well to try to catch her out. But very luckily for the Soraka, the Ahri happened to be relatively low on health, which if you guys know from the Soraka passive, gives her a ton of movement. So she was zooming to the Ahri, which I really did not expect. That should have been a free kill on the Soraka, but she got a little bit lucky that Ahri was really low. So unfortunately, I blow both flash and exhaust, and basically only managed to half health the Soraka, which feels really bad. So I guess you could say it's a huge mistake on my part because I didn't realize the Ahri was so low, which allowed her to escape. Now here we're gonna start up the dragon while our team is actually doing the Rift Herald, even though we have the jungler here with us. So just Fate smite onto the dragon, does manage to secure it, and we're gonna rotate down to the Rift Herald to see if we can help out in that fight, which is still ongoing. So we have managed to zone the enemy team off of the Rift Herald, but here in comes Ahri, and Xayah is on the way as well. Ahri in a 1v3 situation at the moment. Soraka's silence forces me away. Here I'm plunking and my bomb on Soraka and focusing Soraka first. Sidestep the Ahri charm, and in comes the Karma and Diana to go for the Ahri, and I managed to get the last auto attack to get the shutdown. A little bit of a chaos on that one, but hey, we got the shutdown, and of course that is what we want. Xayah is 1 HP here, so I'm seeing if I can do anything about it. Karma does manage to get the kill onto the Xayah, but does pay for it with her life, with the Lee Sin coming in for the cleanup. So here I'm just gonna back and get myself the reset, as well as getting some items, of course. Majority of the way towards IE already, both components have been acquired, and we're gonna of course head back over to the top lane, which has been pretty much left empty by both my team and the enemy team as well. So another thing is, if you take a look at this team, I do relatively well against this team because they're all squishy targets. The only flip side of that is they have quite a lot of CC with Lee Sin Kick, Ahri Charm, Soraka Silence, Echo, W, and Xayah's Root. So a lot of CC, but as long as I can not get hit by CC or get hit by, you know, minimal amounts of CC, I should be able to basically reset and go ham on them. No like frontline tank that is gonna block me from you know, going in on them. Here again, really nice route into ultimate via the Karma allows me to get the pick on the Soraka. Now if you guys realize, Why am I always focusing the Soraka and not the Xayah? Now the issue is that with a Soraka lane, you always have to focus the Soraka first. Because if you focus the Soraka is just going to keep on healing her up. And you're going to realize you're going to have a problem taking down Xayah. Especially a defensive ADC like Xayah or Ezreal that has a lot of survivability. With a Soraka, really hard to take down if you're focusing the ADC and not the support. So you really do want to focus the Soraka first. Get rid of their health battery, and then you can move on to focusing them. Now, if of course you don't have the time to focus them, then you just get the kill on the Soraka and you can be done with it. You don't want to be focusing the ADC when they have a Soraka with them, and that's just gonna be pretty tragic. So here we have the 2-item combo of the IE and the Storm Razor. We also opted into a Merc Treads because, of course, as I mentioned, a ton of CC, also a decent amount of magic damage with the Ahri and the Echo. So here on my way back to lane, I'm just going to take the Wolves. You take jungle camps pretty quickly, AoE jungle camps pretty quickly because of your bomb. So we can easily get that. So here I'm rotating back to the lane to clear it while there is sort of a mid lane skirmish happening. You guys can see that the Soraka, the Xayah, and the Ahri are caught in a fight with Twisted Fate as well as my Karma. So I realize the fight is still ongoing, so I cleared out the wave. I'm going to quickly rotate down. Echo is going to run straight into me. He blast plants over, I flash over to get the last hit on him, get the reset on my jump, and I try to go on to Xayah, but she's a little bit too far away for me to actually catch, so a little bit unfortunate on that one, but hey, we did get the free kill onto the Echo. Here, with the bomb, we can easily just burst down this tower, as you guys can see, and we're gonna see if we can do a little bit of damage to the inhib, but we probably won't be able to get the inhib here, so maybe just get a plate and just get out. That's exactly what we end up actually doing. Twisted Fate getting a little bit caught, but the speed up and the shield from the Karma is fine. I get hit by the charm, and as you guys can see, when you get hit by the charm, you kind of die because damage amplification from the Ahri, and together with the ignite, unfortunately don't quite manage to survive. But here, Twisted Fate Jungle going in with that blue card, and here flash forward from the Karma into the Q to get the kill onto the Xayah. So by and large, my entire team, not just me, is doing pretty well. Like, no one is really feeding, no one is super duper fed as well. Everybody's just doing good. That's of course what you like to see from your team. No one feeding, everybody doing good. That's what you love to see. I much rather see this than having like one other fed member on the team and like everybody else feeding. Rather have this kind of team where everybody's doing alright, as you guys can see from the KD. I mean, Orianna not doing the best in the world, but everybody else is doing pretty well. So that's what we love to see. Now here, Rift Herald started up by the Diana, and here I'm just here to back her up. With no jungler, we want to secure this without the enemy coming in, which we do manage to do with the zoning from the Orianna and the Karma. Doesn't quite allow the enemy team to go in, so they do that really, really well. And here we're just going to, of course, go for that, secure the mid wave and get the push going. Of course, I now have the Rift Herald, so I do want to look for opportunities to use it. And ideally, I want to actually put it on the mid inhib. So here I'm diving in onto the Echo. I get the reset and quickly hit my stasis, as well as actually getting the Soraka off the bomb on the Echo. So kind of Soraka, a little bit of a mistake, walking a little bit too close to the Echo. So here I summon the Rift Herald in the mid lane. The charge will be able to automatically get the mid lane inhibitor, so I'm not too concerned about that. Don't even have to really attack the mid lane tower, so I'm just going to focus the minions instead. And here, we can try to get another charge of the Rift Herald in onto the Nexus itself to just get a bit of damage onto Nexus. So 3 of my teammates will be doing that, while me and Diana, yet again, we're going to be going for that Mountain Dragon. So unfortunately, Lee Sin gets the kill on Twisted Fate, gets a shutdown on the Twisted Fate. Not looking too good. My team getting chased down, so a little bit of a slip up there maybe by leaving my team behind, but we do control what the dragon. They can see us doing it. Diana can secure the dragon easily, and here I'm setting up trap for Lee Sin. Boom! I blast him into next week, get the reset, and yeah, me and Diana clean up all 3 of them. Here I'm jumping forward to get the Ahri. Ahri ults out of the way, so we do force the Ahri ultimate. Diana actually just managed to hit her Q and actually follow up into that team. I'm on my way to back her up, but unfortunately she dies a little bit too quickly from the burst from Ahri, so I don't get too much out of that. Now I recognize that there is a wave in the bot lane, so instead of wasting my time pushing out mid, I'm just gonna head over to bot where I can try to secure this tower before anybody can really respond. Bomb onto the tower, boom, just destroy that tower and get the minion wave as well. So of course on the way out, blue buff spotted, so what do we do? Of course we're gonna be taking that blue buff from the enemy team. always deny as much jungle monsters as possible, and no one on the enemy team really is even in the area to contest me taking that blue buff. Here I'm trying to trap for Lee Sin, trying to jump in, but his whole team is here. I get kicked into the enemy team. I flash back towards my Karma and try to push Echo away with my ult, but I end up actually pushing him straight into the wall. So not quite the push away I was looking for, but either way the disengage does come through, and we do manage to pretty much escape that sticky situation where I jumped in on the Lee Sin and his whole team was actually behind him. Sometimes you do have those instances on Tristana where you do jump in on the enemy team and realize that everybody else is with them. Not quite ideal, but we do also steal the Gromp before backing. Don't actually end up backing here. So this is a play I remember making. Me and Karma do the two-man Baron sneak. So here Lee Sin is dead. The enemy team has relatively high amount of pressure with Diana pushing mid. There's no mid lane inhibitor. Xayah has to go out to clear top wave, which is pushing in, and our bot wave is also pushing in. So we've got all three pushing waves and one wave of super minions. The enemy team is busy dealing with their wave states, and here me and Karma are basically just doing the two-man Baron, but the Diana does come in. Twisted Fate comes in as well. Enemy team realizes it right as the Baron goes down. So here we managed to sneak the Baron, and we're gonna just recall with that, get ourselves the Bloodthirster. We of course did rush the Executioner's Calling a little bit earlier, just because we need to counter that Soraka healing. And yeah, we end up getting the Baron. I don't really recommend doing sneaky Barons a majority of the time, except, you know, on like certain occasions like these where you do get it for relatively free. Now, make no mistake about it, whenever you sneak a Baron, it's a risk. Like, if we got spotted a couple of seconds sooner, who knows what would have happened, you know, but this was a calculated risk. It went relatively well for us, so we do get away with that Baron, and of course we do want to use the Baron to push out our lanes. Now, mid lane inhibitor already secure, not too much of a point pushing mid lane, but I'm just gonna go to mid lane to push to get one wave and get the priority for my team. So this forces the enemy team to respawn in mid, which of course relieves pressure off of the other lanes. So here, as you guys can see, Twisted Fate is pushing bot, and Diana, as well as I believe that Orianna, is pushing top. So we want to get ourselves pushed in on all the lanes, which is what we do. Here I W out immediately because I expected the charm to come my way. Not sure if it was down or she just decided not to use it, but they don't even attempt to charm me, so that's all good. Here a bomb onto the inhib, boom, blasting down the inhib, and at the same time nearly blasting down that echo just off that blast from the tower. So kind of funny on that one. So here at this point the game is pretty much won. Baron minions pushing in on two lanes, they can't defend it, so instead I decide to go for the kills. So boom, kill onto the enemy bot lane, flashing out, and then I was thinking of ending the game, then I decided to turn around and see if we could get another kill, but the Baron minions simply too strong. They end up ending the game for us. So there is the nice victory on the Tristana. So there we go. As you guys can see, my whole team did relatively well, and I'll leave you guys with the rest of the stats as usual. So thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.